Retro formats have been growing in popularity over the years, with Go and Edison being amongst the most popular. Goats, of course, being a nostalgic hit from the Duel Monsters era, and Edison being the legendary Unsolved format. Personally, I'm more of a Tengu Plant type of guy. Tengu Plant bridged the end of the 5Ds era and the beginning of the Zexal era. Its card pool is similar to Edison, with major additions in the form of Glow Up Bulb, Formula Synchron, Trishula, Reborn Tengu, Tour Guide from the Underworld, Effect Veiler, Maxi, and most importantly, the birth of Xyz monsters. In addition, we have many fan favorite archetypes like Lightsworn, Blackwing, and Six Samurai, all with presence in this format. One of the major changes between Edison and Tengu Plant came in terms of speed. Reborn Tengu was the first normal summonable and non-battle phase based floater. Summoning one Tengu gave you access to at minimum 3 bodies per turn, to be used as material for synchro summons, Xyz summons, tributes for your main deck monsters, cost for your spells and traps, or just powerful defensive monsters in general. Another massive change came in the form of 2 hand traps, Effect Veiler and the infamous Maxi. Effect Veiler gave us new way to protect ourselves from powerful monsters like Trishula, or preventing our opponent from starting their combo by hitting monsters like Junk Synchron. While the modern OCG is balanced around Maxi, and Master Duel sees its usage rates above 90%, its debut format sees it in a more fair and balanced light, with it often being a sided card to answer combo-heavy decks. Before the existence of popular hand traps like Ash Blossom, Nibiru, and Imperm, the Maxi challenge was the only thing keeping combo decks in check. The idea of giving your opponent access to every answer they needed and more was often enough to make your opponent reconsider whether a full combo was worth the resources, especially with the speed of the game lacking the 1 card to 5 description combos we see in modern formats. When it comes to modern format, one of the biggest differences between Tengu Plant comes in the concept of priority. Priority provided the turn player's initiation effects to essentially be resolved as quick effects. For example, if I, as the turn player, were to summon Chaos Sorcerer and my opponent were to activate Bottomless Trap Hole, I would be able to declare priority and use my Chaos Sorcerer effect to banish an opponent's monster before Bottomless Trap Hole resolves and banishes my Chaos Sorcerer. In modern format, if I were to summon Chaos Sorcerer and my opponent activated Bottomless Trap Hole, we'd both be sitting at table 500. With all that said and done, I can't think of a better way to start the series off than with Tengu Plant itself. Tengu Plant is an incredibly fast deck that shaped the way we played the game going forward. The deck is composed of 3 elements: Reborn Tengu and the materials it produced by floating into another copy of itself, the Plant Engine providing us with 3 powerful monsters and 2 of the strongest tuners in the game, and the newly released Tour Guide from the Underworld giving us easy access to Xyz plays. Starting things off, let's introduce the Plant Engine: Debris Dragon, Lone Fire Blossom, Dandelion, Spore, and Glow Up Bulb. On normal, summon Debris Dragon special summons a monster with 500 less attack from the grave. This includes all monsters in the Plant Engine and our hand traps. While Debris Dragon does have some major restrictions, it is still one of the strongest tuners in the format, and due to the existence of Xyz monsters, its level 4 restriction is less of a hindrance now because we can use it as material for our rank 4s. Lone Fire special summons any of the other plant monsters from our deck, giving us access to Dandy and its tokens, or level 1 tuners. Spore and Bulb's greater effects have amazing synergy with our Tengus, usually resulting in a Librarian, an additional Synchro Summon, and 1 extra Tengu for extension. We already covered what makes Tengu so great in the intro, and in its namesake deck, we get to abuse its floatiness for quick and powerful synchro boards. Following that, we have our main deck boss monsters, BLS, Gores, and 2 copies of Caius. BLS is one of the most feared, respected, and sackiest boss monsters of the format. Not only is it a beat stick, but with priority, BLS often takes out 1 back row and 1 monster on the field, making it a nice 2-for-1 exchange. Gores is an incredible battle phase hand trap and the reason an entire generation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players attacks low to high. For those of you who are new to the format or have never experienced Gores or the power creep, Gores is summoned following an opponent's attack to your empty field. On summon, Gores summons an emissary token which copies the attack set of the damage taken. Attacking high to low puts you at risk of giving your opponent a powerful monster that you're unable to out. On top of a side attack stat, Caius is a quick way to clear monsters like Stardust Dragon, who otherwise have built-in protection. Onto a staple of Tengu Plant, Thunder King Ryo. T-King is a very powerful normal summon that keeps your opponent in check by negating a single special summon and keeping them from adding cards to hand outside of drawing them. In addition to its effect, it carries a very respectable 1900 attack for a level 4 monster. Up next, we have our Tour Guide trio and Sangan. It's very important to note that while Sangan summon out Tour Guide will activate if sent from field to grave, it will not activate if used as an Xyz material and detached to grave. Sangan, of course, searches for any member of the Plant Engine, Tour Guide, or our hand traps, making it one of the most valuable monsters of the format. Rounding out our monster lineup, we have our 2 hand traps, 2 copies of Effect Veiler, and 2 copies of Maxi. Onto our spells, we have the power staples in Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and Mind Control. Following those, we have some of our better extenders in 1-for-1 and Foolish Burial, both giving us easy access to our Plant Engine. Next up, we have Pot of Avarice, which allows us to easily recycle resources including Sangan, Tengus, or any of our extra deck options. Rounding out our spells is our quick play lineup of Scapegoat, Book of Moon, Double Enemy Controller, and Double MST. Scapegoat providing us with defense and secret material, Book and Controller as powerful disruptions, and MST to protect us from powerful cards like Skill Drain. Our trap lineup consists of the Solum Trio and one of the greatest opening traps in the game, Trap Dust Shoot. Moving on to the extra deck, we start off with Formula Synchron, one of the easiest cards to go into and summon off our Plant Engine or Scapegoat plays. Formula gives us a draw, but more importantly, gives us access to Black Rose Dragon and Trishula on our opponent's turns. Armory Arm is our generic level 4. It gives us the benefit of doubling as an equip spell and being a light monster for our BLS. In addition, it is great synchro climbing material. Onto our level 5 lineup, we have one of the most defining monsters of the format, TG Hyper Librarian. In combination with the Plant Engine, Librarian helps us speed through our deck and makes every synchro summon, including our opponents, a plus for us. Joining him is Catastor, a generic level 5 that helps us out problematic cards. Our 2 level 6 monsters are Orient Dragon and the ever popular Brio. Orient Dragon being a nice out to monsters like Stardust Dragon and a level 6 target for debris, Brio being an answer to almost everything on your opponent's field and a quick way to set up for game. Our level 7 lineup is Black Rose and Ancient Fairy Dragon. Black Rose being an easy way to even up the games, and Ancient Fairy being an ice extender with a good defense stat. Our level 8s are the iconic Stardust Dragon and the powerful Scrap Dragon. Stardust of course being a powerful 2500 beater with one of the best protection effects in the game, and Scrap being a powerful beat stick with a nice destruction effect. Our lone level 9 is one of the most powerful monsters in the format, in Trishula. Onto our Xyz monsters, we have our rank 3 toolbox consisting of Leviathan and Leviair, both summonable off the tour guide play. Our rank 4s being Utopia and Steel Swarm Roach. Utopia of course being an attack negate, and Roach being similar to T-King for level 5 and higher summons. This is a very standard list. There are modifications we can make, but we'll cover those in later episodes. I feel it's important to start off the series with the very standard list to show off the namesake in its most popular variant. Till next time, peace.